Hey folks, welcome to the channel. I'm Don. This is Rockin' the Country. This is a sort of makeup video of types because, well, first, shout out to you, MontaukEd, for making a gift to the channel and this request. But Ed had requested that I do George Jones and Lacey Dalton's rendition of Size 7 Round. But what had happened, and he wanted me to give a shout out to Clifford Barnes for inspiring the request. Well, Clifford Barnes had beaten Ed to the punch in requesting the very same song with the gift request. And, you know, just there's mutual admiration between Clifford and Ed. And so that was just a beautiful moment. So I said, Ed, you got to give me another choice because I just did that one. So Ed gave me George Jones, These Old Eyes Have Seen It All. And that's the nature of the beast. So let's see what we've got. I don't know the song as far as I know. I didn't grow up on country, so if you're new to the channel, welcome. But that would explain why some songs that are just second nature that you might have heard 1,000 times in your life, I haven't heard because I grew up on rock. And when I started the channel about 7 years ago, I was originally doing Nashville country. And then eventually morphed into traditional country, bluegrass, western, and such. As people started making requests, I'm like, oh, traditional is where my heart is at. Because I love life, I love assessing things. I'm a life coach and executive coach. So I like seeing the interpersonal dynamics that are presented in traditional. And there's no other genre that represents life as well as traditional country. So let's see what George has for us. These old eyes have seen it all. Yeah, that's the good news and bad news about getting old. You've seen a lot. There's good and there's not so good.
The old man's hair was white and his eyes looked tired. He drank his beer at a table all alone. But he smiled when I spoke to him, so I sat down for a while. I wound up sitting there the whole night long, 'cause I could see he had a lifetime on his mind.
There's a page out of
So I just sat there and listened, and I was glad to take the time. And he said, I saw Jimmy Rogers yodel on stage, and I saw Hank when they walked him to his grave. I saw a country boy from Memphis change the world with rock and roll. And these old eyes have seen it all. Then he said, I saw friends of mine on foreign soil die proud. I saw things over there, son, that I still can't talk about.
Yeah.
I saw a crazy man named Hitler and his army rise and fall. Yes, these old eyes have seen it all. These old eyes have seen it all. Now the hands of time are writing on the wall.
I love the bass in this too.
Telling me I won't have long to wait until my Jesus calls. These old eyes have seen it all. I saw my sweet Mary love me 50 years. With a trembling hand, he wiped away a tear.
That's a detail.
He said, my memories of Mary are the sweetest I recall. And these old eyes have seen it all. seen it all. They saw a man walk on the moon and come back home. And I know it won't be very long until I hear my Jesus call. These old eyes have seen it all. Son, these old eyes have seen it all.
Yeah, that's one of those songs where you hear the things that are in the song, but you don't necessarily think, what was left out? Because when you're writing a song, and I like looking at the genesis of anything or the beginning of something and see where the trajectory might have gone. And when it comes to words and lyrics, sometimes I could figure out where the likely source would have been. But in the writing of a song, when you keep in mind that there was nothing on that piece of paper or nothing on that document, if you write in a laptop, which most people do nowadays, but let's say it's a piece of paper, there's nothing there, and you're going to put something there, and you start getting all these ideas of what you've seen. Now, in the context of the song, let's say the gentleman who he was speaking with in the bar, the one with the trembling hand, but smiled and was happy to talk, let's say he was 80 years old. So what had happened in the prior 80 years of his life? You know, if this song came out, say 30 years ago in the 90s, there would have been World War I. He would have been in single digits at that time. World War II. And they mentioned that in here with Hitler. And, then coming on up through music, you got Hank Sr. died. You got Elvis came on the scene. Yeah, the Blue Yodeler, number 2, the albums and whatnot. But this is one of these things where what winds up on the cutting room floor? But there was enough in here, like he saw a man get to the moon and come back. In Apollo, 13? They almost didn't come back, but they did. They got him back. And so many parts of life. I mean, they didn't mention Super Bowl. He didn't mention in the song Super Bowls or anything, but his wife who loved him of 50 years, I think it was Mary was her name. And you're like, all right, we're going to narrow down the list of things that are going to go into this song because we can't make it a 38-minute song. We want it under 4. We'd probably like it close to 3. I'm sure the label and radio liked shorter songs because they could get more on the radio. But this is a song that was sort of almost a page out of Red Savine's book, where it was a talking story song, because that's how it was presented. The gentleman was telling his life story to this other person who talked with him at the bar, George Jones's character in this song. So, and that was beautiful. I don't even know if I want to rate this song. I'm kind of torn. I think I'm going to refrain from it because I think this is a lot of folks' life story. I think I'm going to leave that in the unrated songs playlist. There's just something in me that's nagging at me that just says this is a song of respect, too much, too close to home in some ways. So I'm going to leave it. But that was a gift request from MontaukEd, folks. So Ed, shout out to you, my friend. Thank you very much. It is because of you that I'm actually not rating this song. Out of respect. So let's put it that way. So there it is. All right, folks. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video and keep rocking the country.